Okay, hey, I'm Shannon Klepak. I'm a lifestyle transformation coach, but what the F does that mean? So many buzzwords are used when it comes to coaches that represent fitness, wellness, nutrition, mindset, all of those things, but it can be completely overwhelming. Like, what does that mean? So I wanted to dive into what, for me, lifestyle transformation means and how we implement it through the Shebuilt VIP program. So let's just dive in. What is comprehensive lifestyle transformation? It's a thorough and dramatic modification to the way one lives their life, including all aspects. Okay? So your lifestyle is individual. There's no one like you that lives the life you live. So that's why cookie cutter things, and there's not a one-size-fits-all solution for everybody. It has to be sort of fine-tuned to your lifestyle. We're going to modify the way you live that life. So that would suggest that the way that you're currently living your life, you're not happy with, okay? If you're perfectly content in life and you're happy, you don't need a lifestyle transformation, okay? This is for somebody that is in a place in their life where they are uncomfortable, they don't like the way things are, they don't feel like themselves, they don't know themselves. We hear that a lot from women, like, I don't know who I am, I've lost myself. That can be a very confusing time. So that's when a lifestyle transformation process can be very helpful. All right? So there's typically 3 aspects that come into this sort of transformation process. One would be mindset, okay? Another kind of catchy word that's used a lot. That's, for me, I define that as the mental environment and experience. All of this. The fitness. I put that in quotations because we use the word fitness because we're thinking about the external body, right? We want to get strong. We want to change the way that we look. The external environment and experience. Nutrition, again, in quotations for that. Oops, I did these backwards. This is the internal, right? So nutrition is the things that we feed ourselves and the way that it affects our body chemistry. The internal environment and experience. But these go much deeper than positive thinking, working out, and eating clean. Typically, that's where everybody begins, right? I need to start working out. I need to eat better. I need to start saying affirmations. But why does that so often, why is it so short-lived? Typically, when somebody starts doing those things, very, very commonly, it's for a short period of time, and then it stops. Or we go into that yo-yo pattern. Why is that? We're going to talk about that. I also want to introduce the word synchronicity. The simultaneous occurrence of events which appear significantly unrelated but have no discernible causal connection. So the synchronicity between these things, I think, is what we're going to dive into today. I know that's what we're going to dive into today. And it's important that all of these things work together. But how? Sometimes it doesn't make sense. I'm going to explain it to you. Let me flip my trusty whiteboard here. And then I'm going to have to get my notes because we're about to throw down. All right, when it comes to mindset, this is the one that works. When it comes to mindset, we've got the mental environment. So we've got self-talk. These are the things that you say to yourself on repeat, right? When you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror, oh my God, I look so fat. Oh my God, you're getting so old. Why are you so dumb? Why can't you do this? This should be easy. Why is it so easy for everybody else? All the self-talks. Ingrained beliefs. Ingrained beliefs are things that maybe we grew up believing. Maybe they're the things that our parents spoke to us. Maybe they're the things that kids in middle school, girls in middle school, told us that are just kind of ingrained in us. They've become a part of who we are. Self-worth. This is a big one. Our self-worth. You see a lot of affirmations that say, like, you matter, you are enough, I am enough, I am worthy, right? But do you believe it? Because if you have ingrained beliefs and self-talk that tells you otherwise, your self-worth is going to be in the trash. That's a big one. Boundaries. Mental boundaries, physical boundaries. Boundaries in general is something that a lot of us kind of struggle with, but we'll get to that. Boundaries. Confidence. Are we confident enough to go swimming with our kids in the summer? Are we confident enough to have sex with our husband? Are we comfortable enough to have sex with our husband with the lights on? Are we confident enough to apply for that job? Confidence comes into the mindset piece. And then neuroplasticity, and I'm going to read this, okay? The ability of neural networks in the brain to change through growth and reorganization. It is when the brain is rewired to function in some way that differs from how it previously functioned. So when we're talking about this and changing this, neuroplasticity is what oftentimes is being done, all right? So let's make some connections here. So self-talk can come from ingrained beliefs. Self-talk can also come from self-worth. Self-talk also affects our self-worth, and it also builds our ingrained beliefs. Boundaries, if we have poor self-worth and self-talk, our boundaries are going to be affected by that, right? Same goes for confidence. So for me here, self-worth is the big one. That's the one that a lot of these things all thrive on, right? Okay, let's go to our internal physical environment. This is oftentimes what we coin as nutrition. When I talk about Shebuilt, I'll use words like mindset, fitness, and nutrition because that's what makes sense. That's kind of the first thing that comes to mind. Internal environment, though, so we talked about environment. Our internal function and chemistry. So, I'm not going to write all these out, but think about everything that's inside our body. Our blood pressure, our heart health, our cholesterol, our hormone balance, all those things that make up the internal function and chemistry of our body. Physical longevity. Those internal things affect our physical longevity. How long can we live? But not just that, how long can we live a happy and healthy, joy-filled, peace-filled life, right? So this affects physical longevity. I also put reproductive health in here. That also goes in with chemistry, just like I would gut health, heart health, blah, blah, blah. All right? Let's talk about external. So here I want to define this as, external environment. We're going to talk about the body for a second, but there's other things that make up your external environment, right? As I'm standing here, not only am I feeling my physical body, I'm experiencing the entire world around me, right? I can absorb sunlight, I can hear things, I can see things. I see Joshua munching on some grass over there. So your physical environment, it's not just working out. It's a piece of it, okay? So let's dive into that a bit. So I like to define this as a strong, fluid, pain-free, or painless movement, okay? So when you talk about working out and physical movement, what's the goal here, right? Sometimes the goal is to get a poppin' booty or six-pack abs. I think that's bullshit, but whatever, the six-pack ab part. But honestly, what we really want to do is be able to go out and enjoy life in the physical environment and be able to do the things that we want to do. We have horses and mules and cows and everything else. I want to be able for the rest of my life, as long as I can, to go out there, ride a horse. Not only ride them, saddle them, pick up their hooves, run when they start getting into a scuffle. So a strong, fluid, pain-free movement should be what your workouts are intended to improve. Our body's connections to surroundings. So I also think about our external environment, walking outside, absorbing the sunlight. When you absorb the sunlight and you put your feet into the ground, the grounding experience that happens from that, and also the physical benefits of being outside, breathing in fresh air, absorbing the sun, that's part of your external environment. Your physical experience in the world, yes. And I'm also going to put in here sexual health. I'm just putting some examples. Spell that right. All right. Now, on the previous side, we talked about synchronicity, okay? How do all of these things work together? I explained here how some of all these things do, but how do all these things fit together, okay? Self-talk when it comes to this. So I'm also going to put the food we eat, because obviously that's like nutrition. And the food we eat is the medicine we take, right? The things that we take into our body have an effect on the physical chemistry, our physical longevity, our experience in the world, right? So if I'm talking shitty about myself, Guess what I'm going to do here? I'm probably going to eat poorly, right? Or, so let's do this. So if I am talking crappy about myself and I make an attempt to start eating clean, like I mentioned on the other thing, our self-talk is going to get the best of us, right? Because no matter how well you do, you're never going to think it's good enough. So your self-talk, your self-worth, all of these things are going to affect here. They're going to affect your function and chemistry. If you're constantly filling yourself with negativity mentally, it's going to affect your physical longevity and the life that you live. Literally how long you live and how much you're able to enjoy your life, okay? Reproductive health, all those things. Hormones, I'm getting to that. All right, when it comes to external environment, same stuff applies. Our self-talk affects the way we work out. If we go downstairs and we start I work out downstairs, that's why I stay downstairs, and we work out and we immediately lift a weight and we start doing something and boom, we're out of breath. There you go, your self-talk's gonna start again and it's gonna start telling you, oh my God, you're so out of shape, you're a big fat slug, blah, 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 forget it, screw it. Raise your hand if you've ever felt that way. Your surroundings. All your ingrained beliefs are going to affect the way that you experience your surroundings. All of these are going to affect your sexual health, okay? Including all of this. The foods that you eat, the function and chemistry, all of these things in your physical environment are going to affect your sexual health. Guess what? If you're not having sex in your marriage or it's not good, what does that do here? It comes back over here. Your confidence can either boost your sexual health or it can tank it. Yes? Your boundaries in life can boost sexual health or they can protect it. No, destroy it. I'm getting excited. So depending on what this looks like, it can affect all these other things. But if you turn any one of these wheels, if you come into any one of these scenarios and you make one shift in one place, along with synchronizing it, the synchronicity of doing all these things simultaneously in some shape or form, it can begin to grab, right? Think about a clock, like a watch that has all the little wheels in it and they're all kind of turning. If one's not turning, the whole thing is done, right? But if you get a little bit of, put some WD-40 in there and you start to get some wheels turning, even in the slowest way, guess what? They start moving and they become synchronized, all right? Ingrained beliefs. What have we been told about, I'm going to use sex as an example because it's just such a great thing. What have we been told about that our entire life? What have we been thought about our body? Is our body a bad thing? If our body is a bad thing, how is that going to affect the way that we have sex? How is it going to affect the way that we go work out? Am I even going to want to put workout clothes on? Am I even going to want to walk into a gym to do that because I think so poorly of myself? All of these things are connected. External physical environment. What does your house look like? If your house is in complete disarray, that's a piece of your physical environment. If you're working out in a basement full of damp old stuff that stinks and there's spiders in the corner, are you going to want to go in there and do anything? No. Your external environment matters, right? That also includes the people around you. That goes to boundaries. What people are in your life? Are there people that you need to remove from your life? Are there new circles of people that you need to introduce and bring into your life, right? That's part of your external environment. When you set healthy boundaries, you start saying no to things. You stop saying at work 3 hours late. All these other things start to change. Shannon, I have no time. Really? Or are you just giving it away? Are you wasting it on things that just don't matter? Because that's likely more the case. You do have time. You just don't have boundaries on how you spend it. But where do I spend it? So much of this comes from this little piece right here. And when you start to put all of these things together in an organized fashion, bit by bit, things start to happen, right? I have in the corner here something I call Shebuilt voodoo. This is a coined term by a previous client. I call this, not call it, but I explain it as like weeks into the process, we're going to use sex again, all of a sudden people start having sex and it's become better, more frequent, better. And they're like, why is that happening? That's a sign, guys, that all of these things are starting to take hold. Once you improve your confidence, you feel more comfortable in your physical body in the external world. You start to feel more energetic and more at peace with things going on in your internal environment. Maybe PMS is reducing. Maybe you don't have quite as, stuff going on, so now that you're feeling a little bit more open. Now that you start journaling and talking about your self-talk and changing it and understanding engraved beliefs and start improving your self-worth, start setting boundaries, start improving confidence, all these things start to work better. And guess what? That means you get to enjoy your kids more. That means maybe you're confident enough to make a job change, or you're able to say to your boss, listen, I'm staying till 5 and then I got to go home, and actually holding that boundary. All of these things work together to be a synchronized piece. So within Shebuilt, the way that's done, and so it's like, now, Shannon, that's great. How do I do that? Because that's a lot, right? Thinking about all of these things at once is a lot. And if we approach it as like this massive thing that we have to fix all at once, it won't work, right? A transformation has to take place over a long period of time, right? Because it has to be bit by bit. We have to build self-trust. That's another thing that I need to put here. Self-trust is one of those things where I can depend on myself to follow through on the things that I promise myself. Too many of us, when we go through this yo-yo cycle of dieting or relationships or whatever, we lose self-trust because we keep failing on the things that we are promising ourselves, because we're promising ourselves bullshit from what society tells us we need to be. They tell you in 8 weeks you're going to have a bikini body. They tell you in 12 weeks you're going to lose 30 pounds. And you're going to be, maybe some people can lose 30 pounds in 12 weeks, but they promise these things to us. And we think that's what we're supposed to have. So disconnecting from what society believes we need to be and reconnecting to what we believe we need to be and what we want to be is what needs to happen. But that does not happen overnight because we don't trust ourselves. So we've got to take baby steps. So within Shebuilt, our external physical environment, your workouts start out as 5 minutes. Just do 5 minutes of this thing. And I give you a quick little 5-minute workout. And you do that thing and you're like, oh, okay. Man, I can do that. That didn't take any of my time. We worked past that wall of resistance of working out. Maybe let's just go for a walk. Why don't you do this yoga video? And take away some of the preconceived thoughts so that you have the time and space to be able to figure out what works for you. Seasons change. In the winter and fall, I am a totally different person than I am today. This is spring, summer Shannon. Winter, fall Shannon is much, much different. So I'm going to have different expectations of myself. I'm going to set different boundaries. I'm going to have different graces that I lay upon myself and my expectations due to the environment that I'm in, of my external environment and my experience in the world. Doesn't mean that I stop working and I'm depressed all winter. No, it means I internalize a little bit more. I am more here and less out here. And it's this beautiful balance that never ends. And that's so important to remember about this, is that transformation, what is it? Thorough and dramatic change in form of appearance. That doesn't ever change. It doesn't ever end. It continues for your entire life. And that's what you should be excited about, is that there's no finish line. There's no date or time where I have to be at a certain place, right? That only finish line is the day you die. So why are we putting limits on time limits on things? And why are we so expectant for the moment ahead or so reminiscent of the moment behind instead of being right where we're at? If we can't be content in the moment that we're in right now, what does it matter? Because the moment we're in right now is all that matters. So going back to this, if we're constantly living in anxiety and depression, that's all. I've experienced anxiety and depression my entire life, guys. Okay, to this day. Like today I experienced anxiety. It's a constant thing. But I've learned enough. I have the tools now to know. I know myself well. I know what I need. And at the end of the day, I'm going to finish with that. Beyond all this stuff, through all the hundreds of women that I've talked to, have gone through the program, this is what we really want. We want to know ourselves, and we want to know how to take care of ourselves, to know what we need at any given moment, to be able to look within yourself, this is how I'm feeling, this is what I need moving forward, with no external validation from anybody else. Unapologetically knowing who we are and what we need, even if it makes somebody upset, even if somebody else doesn't understand. I really think that's what all of us want. So that's lifestyle transformation defined and somewhat explained. I hope that's helpful. Thanks for joining me for my little TED Talk.